Hello, hello. Welcome to Sparkle.Sanctuary. If you're new here, my name's Rebecca. If you're back, welcome back. Actually, just welcome everybody for joining me today. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. So today's video is a WIP and chat. WIP, or WIP, stands for work in progress. This is my current work in progress. I am still working on Song of Artemis from Diamond Art Club, and we'll probably be working on her for the next several weeks. She's a fairly big image, and I haven't had just a lot of time with work and how things are wrapping up at the end of this semester. However, I will next week have a break, and we'll have an entire week after this is, so that you're seeing this Monday. So Friday will be the last day, and I will have about a week and a half off of work. So that'll be nice. So I'll probably get this hopefully completed during that time frame, because I would like to make sure she's finished before the new year. I would actually love to finish this one and then another image before the new year, but we'll see what happens, how much I can get through. So anyway, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Things around here have been fairly positive. Continue to maintain that positivity from my last video. Things at work seem to be going pretty well, and things in my personal life are going pretty well too. So just knock on wood that continues, and that my family continues to be blessed. So we'll go ahead and get started. I've got the first color out here. So I try to link everything below, but I don't always remember. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing or what I'm working on or anything like that, please, please, please leave it in the comment section. And if you don't mind, while you're there, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, just to show me that you like my content, or, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. It won't cost you anything. You just get to see videos from me regularly, and, see my content. I do unboxings and, of course, these WIP and chats. And then I also have, like how-to videos, which I recently recorded one. Actually, I recorded one today, about using some mica powder on some of these pink lines that are in this canvas, and just kind of testing it out, testing the waters to see how that works. And I'm very, spoiler alert, but I am very optimistic about how this canvas will turn out when I'm finished. I believe I'm just going to hold off on actually doing the entire mica powder method as coined by Jade from Jaded Gem Shop, the mica method. I am going to hold off on doing the mica method until I'm completely done with the diamonds on this canvas. I don't want to accidentally ruin the glue on here, so I want to be careful with it. And then also, it'll help me kind of focus on the lines if I'm doing it all at once. So anyway, I think I'm going to hold off on doing that until, completing that until this canvas is completed. So it'll be a little bit before I do that, but I will definitely be posting that video soon. In fact, I think that'll go up this Thursday. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy. And if you haven't seen anybody use the mica method, maybe my video will be informative and helpful. And yeah, because that's my whole goal, is I just want to help reach more people and help get this information out there. So anyway, I will go ahead and just kind of chat with you about my week. Please feel free to, work on your current project, or driving, or whatever it is that you do. Let me know what you do while you're listening to this. If you're, crocheting, or you're diamond painting, or you're, driving down the street, or you're cleaning, or I'm very curious as to what people do. I personally listen to WIP and chats when I'm diamond painting, but sometimes, every once in a while, I'll also listen while I'm cleaning or cooking, but usually it's while I'm diamond painting. So yeah, I'm curious as to what you're doing right now. Hope you don't mind. I'm a little bit nosy. Anyway, so I will just go back to the last time we chatted. It was Saturday that I recorded that video, and then I posted it on Monday. So today's actually Sunday. I'm a day behind getting this completed. I've been very busy doing all kinds of stuff this weekend. And so I will just kind of tell you and give you updates about everything that's happened. So I'll go back to last Saturday. I did obviously record my videos, and then I had a bunch of gifts that came in. In the week before that, I had placed a rather large order of diamonds. Wow. Of gifts for my family. And so last Saturday, I spent quite a bit of time just kind of going through all the packages that I had received, making sure I'm getting everything. And then I took note of the stuff that I hadn't received yet, because I don't want to kind of get lost in what I have and haven't received, and then not recognize that I missed something, you know? So, so I went through, kind of did an inventory of what I had received and noted what I hadn't, and then organized it all and put it into containers and then moved it, hopefully where my kids don't find them. And got that all organized and set up, which was really nice. And then now when packages come in, I just mark them off my list and then move them where the organization system is. And it has been, that's been very helpful. Where the organization system is, it's a little bit hard to get to. So that makes that a little inconvenient, but I'm very fortunate to be able to have the gifts and everything. So I don't, you know, it's a blessing. It's all just a blessing to be able to afford to buy my kids presents this Christmas it's always a blessing. And I feel like, I'm, you know, I spend a lot of time being blessed in many ways, and I definitely don't want to take any of that for granted. So I am always and forever very grateful. But anyway, have you completed your Christmas shopping? I technically have a little bit more. So what happened is at some point this week, I don't remember when, but at some point this week, I was going through some of their stuff. It wasn't Saturday, but I realized that I had annotated so for what I do for my kids, because I have 5 kids, I set a budget for each of them, and then I buy them gifts, and then I organize them so that every kid has the same amount of gifts to open on Christmas. I've always done that for my kids. And then each child gets a specific color of wrapping paper. Their names are not on them. I don't do bows or anything like that. I just wrap the presents in a random wrapping paper. And then I keep note of, you know, who got what wrapping paper. And then all the gifts are kind of moved under the tree. And that way the kids really don't know which paper they're getting. They don't know which presents are theirs. And they really like that kind of way of doing things. And that way I have 5 different kinds of wrapping paper under the tree with nobody knowing whose they are. It definitely limits down on the, you know, opening packages or shaking boxes or all of the things that kids do, you know, and so that makes it more fun for me to be able to keep it more of a secret on who's getting what. So yeah, so while I was kind of going through itemizing, like, because so, you know, some gifts are definitely more expensive than others. I have a son who has very expensive taste, and so he tends to have less gifts than everybody else. And so I don't want to make it unfair. So everybody gets the same amount of boxes to open. So if, say, I get him 5 items and I get everybody else 10, well, their stuff will be boxed together into 2 so that they also get 5, even though they technically get 10 items, because they all know that I spend the same amount of all of them. And I always try to keep it within a $2 amount. So if I say I spend 100 on one kid, maybe it's $100.30, then the other kids will be either $2 below or $2 above that, but there's no more than a $2 gap between all of them put together. So if I spent the least amount of money was $99.02, then the most amount of money that I would spend would be $101.02. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But I always try to stay within $2 of all 5 of them, which can be very hard when you're budgeting. So that's why it took me all day that Saturday to, not this last Saturday, but when I talked in my previous video, that's why it took me all day to get those purchased, because I had to do a lot of budgeting and figuring and making sure that I was spending in the appropriate amount of money. But at some point this week, I was going through and realized I had purchased a gift previously that I forgot that I purchased, and didn't have that in the budget. And so I had to make the decision as to whether or not I had financial ability to bump everybody's gift budget up enough to accommodate for that gift, or if I had to take one of that child's gifts back. And so yeah, I had to work on that this week and figure out my budget and figure out that. And now, because of that, I was able to sort it out. It wasn't like it was much more money. It was just a little bit more. And because of that, I am now not done with gift shopping like I had thought I was. So I need to go back and, you know, a couple of my kids, I've got to figure out what I'm going to purchase them to add to what I have already purchased to kind of equalize them all back out. So yeah, it's been an interesting week as far as gifts go. And again, hope you do not take this as me complaining at all. It's just the process, and it's part of the process. I am not unhappy with this process. I am very pleased to see that I was able to, or, get that sorted out, and how quickly and easily I was able to get that sorted out. I'm grateful that I figured this out, more than a week before Christmas, because that would have been awful to figure that out as I was wrapping presents, the couple days before Christmas. So this gives me time to adjust. So, and gave me time to really look at my budget and determine if this was going to be good for my family or not, and, so I feel very, very grateful for the way that things transpired, that my mistake ended up not being a last minute find out, so that I could arrange to make things special still for all of my kiddos, and not have one child with more money spent on them, or taking away a gift that I really thought that, they would love, or anything like that. So yeah. So that's been something that I've been working on all this week. So anyway, but that Saturday, I told you Saturday, I spent time organizing those. And so again, that made the whole process so much easier. So the line of events was very, very, very helpful for me. I do also, I think I mentioned that I'm working on a project. I do have a secret project that I'm working on, and unfortunately I won't be able to reveal it until after Christmas, but I'm very slowly working on it. I had a mishap with it, and I ended up crying because it is messed up. It's not what I wanted it to be. And it's really hard when you're trying to make a special, I bumped the camera. I am so sorry. I'll let that settle. It's really hard when you're trying to do something special for somebody, and you want things to turn out well, and I wanted things to be, pretty much perfect. And I just wanted to do a good job for this person. And I'm very upset with myself that it ended up it's not going to be what I thought it was going to be, because I messed it up. And, that part made me a little bit sad. I actually I teared up. I didn't quite cry, but I teared up when I was working on it because of the mistake. And, I know that the person's going to love it regardless. I know that it's going to be, appreciated, but, I wanted it to be perfect. And I know I'm human, and perfection is not real, and all of the things that you're supposed to say. But, in that moment, I was still very frustrated, and I've moved on, and I've continued to work on it, and it's coming along well. I'm a little bit behind, so I've got to get a move on that. And I was hoping to do some of that yesterday, but didn't work out that I got to do that yesterday. So I will probably be working on that some more today, which limits some of my time that I had planned for other stuff. But honestly, once this project is done, and I've, given it over, I think it'll be worth it. So anyway, so there's that. And then I did also watch some more of it's like a Harry Potter baking show. Very cool and interesting seeing more of those cakes coming together, and they're, dwindling down on the participants. And so the projects are getting harder and harder, and just seeing what they're doing with these projects is really kind of amazing. I am just in awe of the cakes that are being made on that show. So yeah, it's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, if you're into those baking shows, oh man, seeing all of these cakes, it's pretty cool. And then they also they had them on what looked like the stage of Gringotts and things like that. Just seeing some of those things it's so neat. It's so neat. And I'm a huge fan of the books and the movies. And so, yeah. And I don't ever think that'll go away. I just love them. It's such a magical place, and it makes me feel in ways I don't know. I have dreams of going and living in Harry Potter world. Anyway, so that was fun Saturday. And then last Sunday I did sing, and we did a new song, and I kind of got emotional while singing it and almost started crying. It was very hard to hold back the tears. And somebody came to me and said, they had seen me over the last 9 years, and the struggles that I had been through in my life, and the things that I had been through. And going through my divorce and trying to raise my kids and trying to bring them up in a way that's right, like not being jerks to people and caring about other people and, loving your neighbor and all of the things and just trying to raise them to be good people. And I feel like for the most part, my kids are really amazing human beings, and I'm very proud of them and for all they've accomplished. But anyway, this lady came up to me in church and she's been dealing with some stuff, and I don't know what she's dealing with. I think some of it is probably her own doing just because of how skewed her beliefs are. But she came to me crying and said that, I have made her feel a little bit better as she's navigating what's going on. And because she's seen me come through with flying colors, and she asked me to pray for her. And so I have been, but some of it is like, I pray for her heart to be mended and for her family to be mended. But I also pray that, God speaks truth and discernment into her and just allows her to love her family in the way they deserve to be loved, because I'm not sure that that's what she's doing. I just really hope that she heals and that her family can heal. I can't imagine feeling ostracized by my family. I can't imagine feeling alone without them. My family has been very good for me, especially in the last, like I said, 9 years as I've been going through, as I separated from my ex-husband and went through that process, and coming forward and explaining about the kind of things that he did to me when that people didn't know about, and, navigating being alone when people didn't believe me, and just all of the things that happened. Yeah. And so maybe she will be enlightened and be better and have their family come together, because it's heartbreaking. You need your family in a lot of ways. And, not every family member is good to have in your life. Some people are toxic. Oh, this glue here is slippery. I just moved one drill a little bit and a whole bunch of them slid around. So there are sections on this canvas that are like that. I have that happen quite frequently, actually. But anyway, yeah. So that's something that I tried to help out with on Sunday. And then, did all of the adulting things, laundry and stuff like that. And then my boyfriend had shown me a job opening that was available through the state that I live in. And it's working for the Department of Education. And I don't know, I didn't know how I felt about it. And I went and started looking, and I actually did go in. I completely revamped and updated my resume because I was planning on applying. I did a cover letter and everything. And then I started looking at this job again, and I realized that I had actually applied for that job in 2023, and I had been found, like I received an information from them that said that they had gone with somebody else. And so that means that, just a year later, they're already rehiring for that position. And that's a little bit worrisome. So I started looking into the position a little bit more and kind of took some time to think about it and decided not to apply. Now, I do want to say, like, I decided not to apply because of multiple reasons, but I think the biggest factor was, as much as in May, my job will be up in the air because I'm not guaranteed a position there. I wasn't guaranteed a position there this year because I am based on grant money from the, from the state and from the federal government to assist with behaviors and mental health stuff. And because it is grant money, there is no guarantee. It's even, less of a guarantee than those teacher positions that are out there. And so it is kind of scary to think about that. We're almost halfway through the year here, and, kind of wondering how that's going to look, and if they're already working on applying for the grant for next year and all those things. And so, it's just kind of an interesting thing to navigate. And there is some uncertainty there. And because of that, that's why I actually considered applying for that job. But that is when I started thinking about it, if that's the only real reason why I'm I'm applying for it, then it's not worth applying for. Job stability absolutely is very high on my priority list. It should be for everybody, but I realized, worst come to worst, I have ways of assisting my family. I have things that I can do, and I will never be left out on the street. I have, people who love me. Thankfully, I have people who love me and care about me and would make sure my family and I are okay. And as I don't want to be a burden to them. And so that was why I considered applying for that job. But I mean, even applying for it, there was no guarantee that I was going to be even interviewed, let alone get the position. And it was comparative pay. I mean, it technically would have been a pay increase because I don't work over the summer and I'm not paid over the summer. But when you compare the hourly rate, it's actually a decrease. So I had to sit there and think about that too. But anyway, I ultimately decided to not apply because I really just love my job. I love the kids I work with. I love the impact that I'm having there. I want to give the school district a chance to sort this out. I have plenty of time before, because I've already been saving money to get me through the summer. So essentially, if this job doesn't work out, I would just need to find something by the 1st of August. And so that's still a long way away. And I don't want to, put all my eggs. I don't want to count my eggs before they've hatched. I don't want to count my eggs before they've hatched. And so I'm just going to hold off for now. Realize that job, as great as it would be to have that job stability, I don't know if it's truly job stability because it's working for the Department of Education. And like I said, somebody was hired a year ago and they're already rehiring for that position. And anyway, and I could have been good. It would have been a good position for me. But I also, like I said, I just love my job. I love my job. Even when there were changes this last year, man, this is really slippery. There were changes this last year on staffing and things like that. And it still ended up being a good, it still ended up being a good thing. And I don't know. I love the team that I'm working with. And I think walking away at this point would be a hindrance to the kids too. And so I'm not that person. So I'm going to stick it through and see it out. And, if at any point I find out that there isn't going to be a position for me next year, then I will at that time start working on finding something else. And like I said, worst case scenario, if I needed to, I have family that I could rely on and make sure that my kids are taken care of. So I am not worried about it. I don't know. I think job satisfaction has to be accounted for, and this is pretty much my dream job. So I can't, walking away from that, and even thinking about walking away from it is heartbreaking to me. It's not easy to find a job that you love. Yes, there are times that it's really hard, but for the most part, because I love my job, it's fairly easy. And honestly, the lady who had the job before me thought it was awful and horrible and she hated it. So it's not meant for everybody, and not every job is meant for everybody, right? Some people are just better at some things or willing to do things. And this is just something that works for me and makes me happy. I like knowing that I'm making an impact on these kids' lives and helping them in some way, and would love to, know that if any of these kids could come out on the other side better for having known me or worked with me. And that would be amazing. That's really what I'm there for. I just want these kids to have better lives. I want them to have the mental health stability that they deserve, and feel loved, and cared about, and just that kind of stuff. So anyway, sorry, I am rambling. I guess that's kind of what a WIP and chat is, really, isn't it? Just kind of a ramble. So I'll kind of go through the rest of this week pretty quickly. So on Monday, I guess Sunday night, my boyfriend did make a gluten-free cake for me to take to work. We had this last week, and this coming week, we have kind of celebrations towards the end of the school year we get to do different stuff. And so they asked everybody to bring in their favorite desserts. And so I brought in a gluten-free poke cake, and I mean, a large section of it was eaten. So I'm assuming it went over well. I wasn't in the lounge when people were getting into it, so I really don't know what anybody thought, but yeah, so a large portion of it was eaten, and then I took the rest home after a couple days, and then the rest of Monday was you know, just kind of a slow kind of day, and no major issues that happened. I did have a conversation with one of the kiddos that I work with and told him, like I told him and his teacher that I would add him, and I may have done it the week before, told him that I would add him to the sand table. And so I reminded him that day, not the sand table. Some of you may not even know what that is. So it's a positive break. And I told him that, that I had talked to his teacher and that we had agreed that he could do that if he could handle himself. And so he really worked very hard all week long. And so majority of the behaviors this week for any of the kiddos were, I just kept reminding everybody, don't forget, if you want to have this special break, whatever. And there was state testing this week. It's called MAP testing. And so a lot of the kids were busy doing that kind of stuff. And so it just was a very kind of, I don't know, it was busy in that we were trying to make sure everything was getting done, but it wasn't busy for the mental health side, if that makes sense. So, because I helped out with some of the testing and helped out with some of the kiddos with that stuff. And I'm always very I'm willing to step in and help wherever I can. And so, yeah, I just helped out with some of that. But as long as there's somebody in the room that knows what they're doing, right? So then Monday night, my daughter and I watched a couple of more episodes of Supernatural because, I think I mentioned in another WIP and chat that I had purchased the box set, and we just watched the outtake reels for that season, and it was so fun, and I loved watching all of that stuff. It really makes the series more interactive in a way. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It brings so much humanity to the guys who play those roles, Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, and makes it just even that much more fun. And because it was season one, Netflix doesn't have the original music for season one. And so it was nice to be able to hear the original music again and really get through these full episodes. And that was fun. And then, Tuesday, I don't know what was going on Tuesday. I was super tired, and I think there's been some bugs going around or something. I haven't really actually been sick per se, but Tuesday I got home from work and I was just so tired, and I just passed out. I passed out hard on the couch. I don't take naps generally. And so I don't know if it was something that I ate. I don't know, but I did. I passed out and then woke up and went to bed. So I didn't even get any diamond painting done that day because I was just zonked. Man, these diamonds are moving. This section over here is not this. The glue is very slick, and so I'm having a hard time keeping the diamonds on. I apologize if that's distracting. It's frustrating for sure for me. But anyway, then Wednesday I was working with that kiddo, and I just have been all week I was working with that kiddo and don't forget, you got to be on best behavior to get this break and blah, blah, blah. And then I asked him if he would be willing to help me because his teacher asked me to pass out some cards. And I was like, hey, your teacher gave me a special project that we could work on together. Would you help me with it? And he looked at me and said, I would do anything for you. And it just completely melted my heart. I don't know. And then he actually hugged me also during this week, which was awesome. I don't know. This kid is definitely pulling at my heartstrings, and I'm so glad to see how far he's come and how well he's doing. And, seeing his thought processes improve and his behaviors improve. And I'm seeing his mom smiling more in the morning, which is also amazing. So maybe is helping out at home too, which, can mean a world of difference when you're a single mom to have a little boy with behaviors and things like that, and to see them improve. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that was really neat. And then I kind of so there's been I work kindergarten lunch, and every day the staff keep coming in earlier and earlier from recess, and like the kindergartners are getting just a few minutes outside, and they're not getting very much time, and it's really frustrating. And so I'm just trying to, I don't know, I ended up they're not supposed to be there until 11:30, and they like have been coming at 11:25, and I'm not supposed to be on duty until 11:30. I am paid to be there. It's a small stipend, like not very much money at all, but I am paid to be there. And so I try really hard to make sure, oh, look, I missed that shape. I'm going to fill that in really fast. I try really hard to make sure that I'm there when the kids get there, because the cafeteria staff have to tell us that when they're ready for us, because the kids get there at 11:30, but there is a group of kids and an older age group leaving at 11:30. So if the kindergartners are there early, then they're standing outside the cafeteria just causing trouble, really, is what they're doing, because kindergartners get bored, like kids get bored in general, but what kindergartners, asking them to stand in a group of 100 of them in a small space is it's a lot to ask. It's just a lot to ask. And so I've been frustrated a little bit because they're just getting there so early, and then the kindergartners are coming in, they're fighting, they're causing problems in the hallway, and then I'm having to break up fights and things like that really shouldn't be happening. And so I finally said something to administration. I was like, hey, am I wrong in this? Should they, what time are they supposed to be coming in? This is what I've been experiencing, and I was wondering if this is right, and just making sure that I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. And I was told no, that I'm doing everything right, that my assumption about them, coming in from recess at 11:30 is correct, and that that the other people are bringing them in too early. And so administration sent out an email and was like, hey, just a friendly reminder, this is what the expectations are. We should not be coming in before this. And I was so very grateful, because the other person that works with me in the cafeteria, she was under the opposite mindset and was thinking, like, she was mad because a teacher was holding the kids back a little bit. And she's like, we've been doing this all semester. They need to be coming in at this time. This is what we're doing. I don't know why everybody can't just stick with the program. They're making this harder, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you're complaining about all these behaviors with these kids, but you don't even see that you're part of the problem. And they're having behaviors because they're being asked to stand in a group for 5 to 10 minutes while we wait for the other kids to clear out and for the cafeteria staff to be ready for them. And now when they're getting there, the cafeteria staff is basically ready, and there's, not as many fights, and it's already made such a huge shift. And so I'm glad I said something, because like it cannot be good for the children's psyche to be getting in trouble. Like it's just not, like we all feel awful when we get in trouble. And, these kids, they're just kids. They're little. They're 5 and 6 years old. There's no way that they can behave and control themselves when they're asked to stand for an undetermined amount of time while they're waiting to get food, when they can smell the food. They're all hungry. They see these other kids, running out of the cafeteria because they're bigger, and all of these other things. Like it, yeah. So I'm glad I said something. It's definitely improved the cafeteria stuff for all of the kindergartners, and I feel like the lunches after that have gone much, much, much better. And yeah, and I even was like, Thursday and Friday, we actually were having the kids clean up from lunch a few minutes later than we had been previously, and it has been working out perfectly. So hopefully we can keep this trend and people stay on track and it's not an issue. Yeah, because these kids they don't get very much recess to begin with, which is so unfortunate. But, we're required by law to give them a specific amount of time at lunch. And so I just need to make sure that we're following all the guidelines, because if we're, squashing fights and not letting kids, go here or go there because there's issues going on, it limits their their lunchtime. And I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not that person. I don't want to get in trouble. So yeah, anyway, that was very helpful. And then Thursday, there was a lot of kids that were gone out sick. I was able to still do my groups throughout the week. I did have I have a Friday group where some of those kids, it's not an always given thing. And sometimes I pick them up and sometimes I don't, because they're not really needing for a group. It's more of a small break. It's not quite the reward as some of the other kids are working on, my behavior kids, but it is something similar because they're just really good kids that struggled originally when school first started. And so I like to give them a little bit of extra attention. But like I said, it doesn't happen every week. It didn't happen this week because I had a kid, I had eight kids on Friday that earned that special break. And so it was kind of amazing. So I had a couple groups of kids and was running a little bit behind because of other behaviors in the school. I think as we wind down closer to Christmas, behaviors kind of amp up. But yeah, I was running a little bit behind. And so when I pulled the group, that particular group wasn't able to go, which is unfortunate. So I'll have to see if I can't make it up to them this coming week. But yeah, it was really cool to have 8 kids that earned that break, including that one kid that I had been talking to all week. And you know what's so frustrating? I had a pretty big behavior for a student that they have assigned specifically to me. And it took me so long to get him into classroom that I actually missed giving that other kid his break. And he thought I forgot him. And that made me so upset. And so I will be making it up to him on Monday. He will definitely get his break on Monday. It just, he worked so hard all week. And for me to not be able to come through on my end to give him that break, I feel very small. I feel very small. Now, was it my fault? No, because I was dealing with another kid. But his teacher was amazing and was like, hey, she didn't forget you. She has other responsibilities and other kids. And sometimes those other kids really need her. And so she was helping out with that, but she didn't forget you and she will see you. And so I did see him in the cafeteria and I was like, buddy, I am so sorry, but we will definitely get this. We will do this break. And he said, okay. Because he leaves at lunchtime for the day. And so he wasn't able to have it at all. And I felt like I was about 2 inches tall. Like I don't know, and I couldn't help it. I had things that I was dealing with, but it just made me feel really bad. But everybody else got their break. And what it is I just have some kinetic sand and I bought a couple new ones. They have cars and stuff with them. And one of them's Bluey and the kindergartners and the first graders just absolutely love them. So it's a really great incentive for them. And has been very helpful with, dissuading some behaviors. It doesn't always work. I mean, nothing is 100% effective 100% of the time, right? So, but it was helpful. And to know that 8 kids earned it this last week was really awesome. So yeah, got to do that with several kiddos this week. And like I said, I'll make it up to that one. But I guess I did also Thursday night, I watched some more Supernatural, but then Friday night my boyfriend and my girls my youngest are, 16 and they're like into scary movies and stuff like that. And they've been asking for a while to watch The Walking Dead. And when they were little, I remember telling them when they were 16, I would be willing to let them watch when they were 16, that I would, kind of need to monitor because there is some sexual content in some of the episodes, but for the most part, it's just still the blood and gore. And I just didn't want them to see that before when they were little. And now that they're older and they've seen worse, I'm like, yeah, okay, we can watch it. So, so we watched some of that. I don't remember if we had started it the weekend before or if we started it on Friday. I really don't remember. I think, we started The Walking Dead the week before, I guess. So we watched some more episodes and I don't know. I liked The Walking Dead originally, but as time has kind of gone by and I've healed so much of my mental health after being in an abusive relationship that I find those kinds of shows just end up giving me nightmares now. And so I tend to try to diamond paint while they're watching that kind of stuff, but I don't know why. On Friday, I decided not to do that, and I regret it because I did have nightmares. So if we end up watching some more of that anytime soon, I will keep that in mind and make sure that I am diamond painting instead of watching. I want to be there. I want to spend time with my family, but those just are not my jam anymore. I used to watch that stuff when I was younger, but I just don't. I don't like having the nightmares, and I don't like feeling that anxiety. And I don't know. For a long time, like I said, for a long time, I used to watch that kind of stuff, and now just I'm older and different, I guess. But so then yesterday, that'll be the last day that I talk about here, and then I'll let you guys go. Yesterday, I had been in contact with my mom. She wanted to get some shopping done. I'm really having a hard time finding this arrow symbol in my stuff. Hold on, give me just a minute, see if I can't find this. I guess it's not an arrow, it's a check mark. Where is the check mark? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I had been in contact with my mom and my sister earlier on in the week, and my mom was wanting for us to go shopping with her so that she could get gifts for our kids for Christmas. And so we had decided, I had my kids this weekend and I had a lot to do. So I'm a earlier the better kind of person. And so I asked for as early as possible on Saturday. And I'm so glad because there was nobody shopping during that time. The places that we wanted to go to opened at 7. So she came and picked me up about, 7:15, and we got started. And then she dropped me off around 10 and went to go with my sister. And we went to 4 stores in that 3-hour time span and got quite a bit of shopping done, and, was able to help her with that. And that made me feel really good to get, some of that done for her. And then also gave me some ideas for the rest of the stuff that I'm working on with my kids after I figured out my mistake with the gifts. So that's been helpful. And then after she dropped me off, I had to go back out because I had, I had some returns that I needed to do, and some other stuff that I needed to get done. I needed a new toilet seat for my girls' bathroom and things like that. So took care of some of those things. And then I thought I was going to video chat with one of my friends, and I don't know. I don't if it's because she didn't contact me or I didn't contact her, but we never ended up connecting. But and that ended up being okay because I was just so busy, and I probably would have backed out anyway if I hadn't been. But I do like the time that I spend with her, so it's important to me, and so I need to make sure that I follow up with her today. But then, so we did that, and then last night, my eldest daughter is in a music ensemble at her school, and it was a special music night that they had last night. And it's a wonderful group. They're the most elite choir at the school, and they're really amazing for even in the city that we live in. And so they had a full Christmas music thing, and it was just absolutely, it was lovely. It was lovely. It was long, but it was lovely and neat to see all of those kids, singing the fun Christmas songs and all that stuff. They made it funny, and there was some really great funny things that happened. But yeah, and then got home last night and I was exhausted. I did my youngest 2 had gone to the concert, and we had been talking about like how hard it is because they go to all these things. They're 16 and they still go and support their siblings in their concerts and all of the things that they have, and they don't feel supported by their siblings. And I kind of talked to them like that's unfortunately one of the side effects of being the youngest. I remember going to a lot of my sister's stuff, but I don't remember her going to a lot of mine. And so even now, I sing frequently in church, and I get that it's church, and so she may not go to that, but she could. Her son went to church there, and my mom goes to church there. She could go, but she doesn't. And so, that's just one of those things. And unfortunate side effect of having siblings and all the things. But, so I feel kind of bad because I'm the youngest too. So I get it. So I ended up taking them for ice cream after the concert, and that was kind of nice. And then came home and just relaxed for a bit. And I didn't do any diamond painting. I think maybe Wednesday No, Wednesday night, my daughters had a music concert. I completely didn't even mention that. Wednesday night, my girls who play instruments, so my twins, they actually play the viola and the violin, and they had a concert on Wednesday night. So I don't think I actually diamond painted at all this week. During the week, I think I just did it over the weekend, last weekend, and then, like I said, this is Sunday, and so this is the first little bit that I've done today. And I'm hoping after church I will be able to do some more. And yeah, so I don't know, we shall see. But I am, like I said, this right about here is the halfway point. So you can see I've done quite a bit. Yeah, there's the top. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. And this is the area where I added some of the mica powder, and it's looking really nice. So yeah, I am really liking the way this image is turning out. And I think once all the pink lines are gone, I'm going to be very pleased with this image. She's very pretty. Margaret Morales just does some amazing work. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you for staying and watching. If you're still here, please leave an emoji of, I don't know, just leave some kind of emoji, a heart, a pumpkin. I don't care what it is, just anything. Just leave a thumbs up. I don't know. But if you are so inclined, please leave this video a thumbs up. It does definitely help me know if you like what I'm putting out there. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. This video will go out tomorrow. This is Monday. And then on Thursday, I will have a very short video about how I added some mica powder to this. And then, yeah, and then that's it for this week. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope that things are going well for you. I hope that you are able to spend some time with loved ones. I know the holidays are really hard for some people. A lot of people have experienced loss and grief and loneliness, and just know you're not alone. It's a hard time to navigate for everybody. And I don't know a single person that this is just the perfect holiday for. Even I experience some sadness now. And I think I always have, just because of the way my relationship with my ex-husband. It just was never really a good time of year. So just know people are going through their own things. So please be kind, be aware. And, you know, like I said, you're not alone if you're experiencing some of that. So anyway, I hope you have a good week, and I will talk to you next time. Remember, Sparkle Sanctuary is where you go to take care of your mental health. So please, please, please make sure you're taking time to take care of you. I'll see you next time. Bye.